What's going on, guys? I see Trades here, and today we're going to be doing a technical analysis breakdown on ticker symbol BBAI, Big Bear AI Holdings. Like we covered in the last video, guys, had that big spike to 1030, followed up with a sell-off, getting in this consolidation range. We were consolidating for some time. We pointed out that had a clear ascending support as well as a descending resistance. We've broken under that ascending support and now we're chopping around. The question is price going to break out of these resistance levels, or are we headed to the downside for a move down after this consolidation range? I'm going to take you guys over to the weekly to get a broader perspective. Now on the weekly, you can see that the stock's very prone to these huge moves up and huge moves down. Very volatile, as you could say. A lot of small cap stocks aren't like this. They move like this. For example, GameStop, AMC, etc. A lot of these stocks have extreme volatility where they'll consolidate for some time, not do too much, and boom, out of nowhere, huge move up, huge moves down, big corrections, big moves up, big moves down. And BBI is no stranger to that. So, you see it IPO, huge move up to $16 and then a drastic sell-off, has these big moves down and big moves up. And the most recent run-up, getting into this tighter range, then blowing up and rejecting. Something I like to point out, guys, it's very interesting that the last 3 times this thing had a very large move, it's pretty much been mirrored right back after that big move getting rejected, mirroring that exact move. You see right here, big move up, sellers step right in, pushing it right back down. Right here, big move up, pretty much mirroring candle, so pushing it right back down. And we see once again, guys, more recently, big move up and the sellers step right in, not giving buyers that chance to move any higher, stepping right in, pushing it right back down from where that move started. And there's no need to overanalyze the weekly on this stock. It's one that's very volatile and it likes to get tight, consolidate, and blow up. And now we've seen volume ramp up about 5 times, 6 times more than it used to be. Volume wasn't anything with this stock. Up until recently, been getting a lot more volume. Can definitely aid some big movements up and down, right? So we see that a lot more volatile in this range. You see in the past, there's a lot of tight price action, not much going on. You see volatility really ramp up and volume ramp up, correcting back down to where it blew up. And you see volume ramp up, ascending up. So that tells us something. Yes, we did get rejected from that point, but as we ascend in price, we ascend in volume as well. So it definitely means that we could be seeing a big move coming up either to the upside or the downside soon. Now on the daily chart, guys, you see a better view of that last spike to 1030. Kind of, consolidate. Then we move up on this ascending support. They're stepping up in this ascending support. And then we find our break out of that $5 level, following up with a very strong green bar and a movement up to that $10 level. Then we see sellers getting full control. One green candle out of almost 12 candles total. So that's a lot of selling control. Get right back under that point where we blew up. And then we gap down, get below that overall consolidation level where we were moving up on this ascending support. Get below that, very tight price action. A lot more tight than over here, so less volatility. Volume still staying in play, guys. Same amount of volume pretty much that we saw in this overall ascending / somewhat consolidation range. And we get really tight, guys. We get really tight. We end up finding this ascending support right here. Hit that 2.30 mark. We end up finding this ascending support, moving up, and up. And we meet with this descending resistance. And this is where we see price try to break out. Nice green wide bar. Looking like bulls are starting to gain that control and possibly getting that big move out. See volume come in. So as a bull, you could be getting trapped here. You're thinking, yeah, we're going to blow through that $4.50 level. But sellers step right back in, rejecting off that level and coming down 2 days in a row of seller control. And we hit that ascending support. So there's still hope. A little bit of back and forth. But then ultimately we get below that ascending support that we had. You're still holding above that consolidation movement type range that we have marked up there. But if we're diving deep, guys, the more recent candles, it's a little bit of back and forth. Fourth most recent candle, we see that green wide bar. But then you get around that same level where we rejected off. Both these candles, you see massive selling pressure. They're inverted red hammer candles, which is a bear sign, guys. But then you see followed up with that kind of a regular hammer candle. So we see some buying pressure at the bottom of this range. So it's a little bit of back and forth that's going on right here, guys. 2 inverted hammer candles in a row. It's not a great sign, but keep in mind, stock like BBAI and a lot of low cap stocks, they can blow up out of nowhere. Volumes flushing in, as we can see, volumes ascending on the daily time frame. Sellers are trying to fight for that control. We broke through that ascending support. You got to see how this plays out within the next few days. Gotta see if price gets tighter in this range and can make that move up, breaking through that resistance and retesting that $50 level. Since we did break that ascending support, it's definitely a point for the bears. So if bears can continue to gain that control, we see those nice two inverse hammer candles. A little bit of fight from the buyers, but overall bear control. If we can see bears, continue to push this downwards, get under that, 360, 370 type of range, maybe consolidate in this range once again and further break down. And this other, major consolidation range, volumes ramping up. We are definitely still bullish in the long term. We really didn't pull back. We are still in an overall ascending formation. Definitely not impossible to see a big squeeze up like we've seen in the past. All right, guys, now on the hourly, you can see a little bit better on how that support got broken. See, we bounce here. Very nice support. Bouncing a few times on the hourly, hitting that point multiple times. Trying to get above that resistance. Can't hold. Get back under. Get tight, tight, tight. That's where bulls would try to break out. Range kind of comes to an end, meeting with the ascending support and the descending resistance. And we kind of just break down from there. And we try to bounce off. Price gets pretty tight. We bounce off this 369 support level. Bang, get up there. Rejecting around the same exact point as we did last time. Yeah, it's a lot of back and forth. After we got between that 369 and 450 range, just a lot of back and forth. That's what we see here. It was an ascending movement. Bulls were in full control. But now we're seeing a little bit of back and forth and a fight for control of price. So for the bulls, guys, keep your eye on that 450 type of range and a hold above that, consolidate. And for the bears, keep your eye on that 369 to 350 range. Definitely would lean bearish if they could break these, closer support levels. Definitely wouldn't be looking great. But right now, guys, we gotta lean somewhat bullish / neutral on the stock at a standstill right now. So this isn't even a pullback yet. Another thing I want to point out, guys, you see that double bottom formation I touched up on in the last video. Boom. Get up to that $10 level, come back down, double bottom, and that's where we start that ascending run. Now we're at a little bit of a standstill. So overall, we are longer term bullish on the stock. I do think if we do see a pullback, it won't be a drastic one. I think buyers can step right back in, continuing their way up, and possibly seeing a crazy parabolic movement like we saw right in this consolidation zone. And to give some perspective on what we saw here, we moved up, we got that pullback, we moved up, got a pullback, moved up, got a pullback, and then boom, that's your move. So if you see a little bit of a pullback, it's completely normal if you see a bit of a pullback here. The only difference is it kind of held its ascending support here, and it broke through on this one, although it's a little bit more of a tight ascending support on this one. So yeah, guys, nothing to freak out about yet. It's where we're at with BBAI, and I'll do it. If you guys enjoyed this video and want to see more BBAI content, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll continue to cover BBAI as well as other major tickers on the channel. Trade smart, and I'll see you guys in the next one.